So everyone is happily situated? How is the prasad? Do you need some rest? Did you need some rest? Is it too stressful? No? That's what I was thinking, like somebody may feel tired and need some rest. Okay, so the holy name, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama Kevalam, Kalo Nasti Nasti Nasti. Besides this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, in the age of Kali, there is no other way, there is no other way. No other way for spiritual advancement. So that's why it is very important that we understand the importance of the holy name, because this is where our spiritual life is resting on. We have taken shelter of the holy name. Holy name is everything to us. And this holy name is non-different from Krishna. Krishna himself has manifested himself as the holy name. Nam Nam Akari Bohudha Nijo Sharbo Shakti Statrarpita Niyamita Smaranena Kala. Nijo Sharbo Shakti. Nijo means his own. Sarva Shakti, Sarva means all. And Shakti means potency. Krishna has invested all his potency in the holy name. So if Krishna's potency is in the holy name, is there any difference between the holy name and Krishna? No. So holy name is Krishna himself. Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasha Vigraha Purna Shuddha Nitya Mukta Abhinnatad Nama Namina. This last line, Abhinnatad Nama Namina, means abhinna. Abhinna means non-different. And Nama and Namina. Nama and Nami. The holy name and the owner of the holy name. Who is the owner of the name? Krishna. So the name and the owner of the name, there is no difference. The person and the name are non-different. In this respect, Prabhupada is saying that in the material nature, the name and the object or the personality are different. But in the spiritual world, in the spiritual domain, in the spiritual context, they are non-different. Nam and Nami is the same. So Krishna's name and Krishna himself are non-different. Same. And also it has been emphasized with that concept that Krishna has invested all his potency in the holy name. Actually, there is no difference. The potency in the holy name is already there. Krishna's entire potency is already there because the name is not different from Krishna. And as I mentioned, as I mentioned earlier, that it is very difficult to call a very important person by his name. Just we notice in our regular day-to-day dealings, do we call our superiors by the name, by their names? Does the son call the father by his name? No. Do we call an important person by his name? Like when we address a senior devotee or a sannyasi, how do you call it? How do you call it? His Grace, His Holiness. Not just direct name. In the Vedic culture, a wife never utters her husband's name. So, it's a way of expressing one's reverence to a superior. Now, when we are dealing with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, generally how do we do? Like when we address an exalted personality, how do we say? Om Vishnupad Paramhansa Paribrajaka Charjo Ashtuttara Shata Shri Srimad. So that is the human culture. That's the civilized human culture. But here we have the prerogative to call the Supreme Personality of Godhead by His name. Why we are able to do that? Why do we dare to do that? Because the Lord Himself said, call me by my name. Sometimes I notice that like the airlines companies where you have your name, like you are a frequent flyer member and they treat you quite respectfully because you are a frequent flyer. And they ask, should I call you by your first name or should I call you Mr. Such and Such? So I say, okay, you can call me by your first name, it's all right. But they ask, can I call you by your first name? So here we can see such a wonderful opportunity we have to call Krishna by his name. Krishna. And not only that, along with Radharani. Hare Krishna. Radha Krishna. So, that in one hand, it's a great good fortune for us. Now I want to go to the main point. When we say Hare Krishna, who are we actually addressing? It can be many. It can indicate many. Hare Krishna can mean Krishna Vaikuntha. Hare Rama can mean Ramchandra of Ajodhya. Krishna can mean Krishna of Dwarka. But in the ultimate sense, who are we addressing? By Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, we are addressing Radha Krishna. That is a very, very special prerogative. We are addressing Radha Krishna. Radha Krishna, where is Radha Krishna? When you say Radha Krishna, where are they? Are we addressing Krishna in Vrindavan? I'm sorry, addressing Krishna in Vaikuntha? Are we addressing Krishna in Dwarka? No, we are addressing Krishna of Vrindavan. Now, to understand what is Vrindavan, I will briefly tell you the summary. Very quickly I'll tell you the story of Gopkumar's journey back to Golok Vrindavan. Mind you, what I'm trying to present is, this is one half of the second part of Brihad Bhagavatamrita. How many of you have seen this book? Okay, those who have seen, they know Brihad Bhagavatamrita has two parts. First part, second part. The first part comprises of a volume like this. The second part in this two such volumes. This is one half of the second part. So it's going to be tough to cover the entire story in maybe half an hour. Okay, I'll try. So the second part, actually, this is written by Srila Sanatana Goswami. Sanatana Goswami is actually pointing out, this is a Brihad Bhagavatamrita. The name itself indicates, Brihad means great, extensive, large, great. Bhagavat means about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Amrita means nectar. The nectarian description of the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Or you can say in simple words, you know, Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam, and this is Brihad Bhagavatamritam. Srimad Bhagavatam, you have seen, has 12 cantos, 18,000 verses. But this is even greater than that, bigger than that. So this book is actually giving us the perfect understanding of Srimad Bhagavat. And Sanatana Goswami is presenting it in a story form. The first part of the Brihad Bhagavatamrita is Narad Muni's search for the greatest devotee. Narad Muni is trying to find out the greatest devotee of the Lord. And he is searching and searching. Like first he thinks that one Brahmana is the greatest devotee, who is performing the worship of the Lord in such a wonderful way, displaying such devotion to the Lord. But when he goes to the Brahmana says, no, I am not the great devotee. The great devotee is the such and such Kshatriya king in South India. So he went to the Kshatriya king. The Kshatriya king and Narad Muni started to glorify him as the greatest devotee. He said, no, I am not the greatest devotee. I am so insignificant. And he's proving through his reasons and arguments that how he is not the greatest devotee. So this is the difference between a devotee and or you can say this is the difference between an advanced devotee and a neophyte devotee. A neophyte devotee thinks he is the greatest devotee. That actually is a fact. The definition of a neophyte devotee is one who thinks that he is not only the greatest devotee, he thinks he is the only devotee. Archayam eva haraye pujang shraddhaye hate natad bhakteshu channeshu sa bhakta prakrita smitaha. Archayam eva haraye, he worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead with great devotion. He worships him. He worships him sincerely. I won't say with great devotion. A lot of sincerity. He worships the Lord. Pujanya shraddhaye hate, shraddha, with lot of faith and reverence. But natad bhakteshu channeshu, but doesn't recognize his devotees. Doesn't recognize the Lord's devotee means, what does it simply indicate? He doesn't recognize the Lord's devotee. That means he thinks he is the only devotee. He doesn't recognize the Lord's devotee. He is the only devotee. Natad bhakteshu cha anneshu, and doesn't recognize others. This others means those who are innocent and those who are offensive to the Lord. He is a neophyte devotee. But second class devotee, he recognizes the devotees. He has love for the Lord. He has friendship for the devotees. He has compassion for the innocent. And he has disregard for the offenders. He is a Madhyamadikari. And who is the Uttamadikari? Sarva bhuteshu japashet bhagavad bhavam atmanaha. He sees that everybody has become a devotee of the Lord. Only he couldn't become a devotee. So how it works? It works in reverse order. The neophyte devotee thinks that he is the greatest devotee. And the real devotee thinks that he couldn't even become a devotee. So that becomes quite apparent, quite obvious in Sanatana Goswami's description in the first part of Brihad Bhagavatamrita. In this way, wherever he goes and glorifies that person, like he says, no, sorry, I'm not a devotee, I couldn't even become. And he started to speak about his own defects. He speaks of his own defects. And this is how we can see that his statement that he couldn't become a devotee is honest, is earnest, is genuine. So he went to the Brahmana and started to glorify him. Oh, you are the greatest devotee. Brahmana said, no, I'm not a great devotee. What's so great about me? My devotion. I'm a Brahmana. By occupation, I'm supposed to worship the Lord. So that's what I'm doing. But look at the Kshatriya. He's a king. He has so many responsibilities. He has to maintain his kingdom. He has so many other responsibilities. But still he is so dedicated to the Lord. So he goes to the king, and when he starts to glorify the king as the great devotee, the king says, no, I'm not a great devotee. Indra is a great devotee. Who am I? I'm just a mortal, ordinary mortal. I'm just worshipping the Lord for his pleasure. But Indra is such a great devotee that the Lord has become his younger brother. And he directly receives his offerings with his own hands. So he goes to Indra and he glorifies Indra. And Indra says, no, I'm not a great devotee. He says, Brahma is a great devotee. So he goes to Brahma and starts to glorify him as the great devotee. Brahma got really upset with him. He says, Narad, so many times I have to tell you that you don't speak like that. You don't listen to me. What's the matter with you? After all, he's his son, so he can chastise him. So he's chastising him in that way. And who is the greatest devotee that Brahma indicates? Lord Shiva is the greatest devotee. He goes to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva says, no, I'm not a great devotee. The residents of Vaikuntha are the great devotee. And then Parvati says, and among all the residents of Vaikuntha, Lakshmi Devi is the greatest devotee. When he was about to go to Vaikuntha, then Lord Shiva says, look, even greater than the residents of Vaikuntha is Prahlad. So he goes to Prahlad. And Prahlad says, no, I am not a great devotee. What did I do? As a child, I had displayed some attachment to the Lord. It was just a childish attachment. But devotion means service to the Lord. And look what service Hanuman has rendered. So Hanuman is the greatest devotee. And when he goes to Hanuman and starts to glorify him, that he is the greatest devotee, Hanuman starts to cry. He says, why are you inflaming my already burnt out heart due to the separation from my Lord with this kind of statements? And Hanuman pointed out that the Pandavas are the greatest devotee. The Pandavas pointed out that Jadus as the greatest devotee. And in this way it goes on, and finally Who he found to be the greatest devotee? Srimati Radharani. So this is how Sanatana Goswami is taking us, step by step, systematically with proper reasoning, proper understanding, the gradual development of devotion leading all the way up to Srimati Radharani. So the second part is describing a cowherd boy's journey back to the spiritual sky. Spiritual sky means, what is the topmost region of the spiritual sky? Golok, Vrindavan. It's a very wonderful description, actually. Like this particular cowherd boy, he was born in Govardhan in a cowherd family. And like any other cowherd boys, he tends the cows in the forest, in Govardhan. He plays with his friends and he happily spends his time as a cowherd boy. And he sees that there is a person who is like a madman, whose activities and behavior is like that of a madman. But towards the cowherd boys, he was very affectionate. Very, very affectionate. And this person, sometimes he would sing, sometimes he would dance, sometimes he would laugh, sometimes he would cry, sometimes he would roll in the ground, sometimes he would faint. And cowherd boys also were very fond of him, and he was also very affectionate towards the cowherd boys. And the cowherd, one day, Gop Kumar was alone. The name of this cowherd boy is Gop Kumar. So Gop Kumar was alone, and this person told Gop Kumar that I will give you a very, very precious object today. I'll give you something extremely valuable. So you go and take your bath in Jamuna and come to me. So according to that instruction, Gop Kumar went, took a bath in Jamuna, and he came to him and he gave him the 10-syllable mantra. 10-syllable Gopal mantra. Those of you who have second initiation, Brahman initiation, this is the sixth mantra. You have 7 Gayatri mantras you chant, the 6th one is this Gopal mantra. So he gave him the mantra. And he told him that this is the most precious thing in the world. So very carefully you protect this and you chant it in a mood of meditation. Meditate upon this mantra. And in this way then he started to instruct about how to meditate upon this mantra. And while he was instructing on the mantra, this person fainted. And he fainted out of ecstasy. And then when he came back to his senses, he just got up and walked away. So Gop Kumar, because he received this mantra and the instruction from his guru that this is the most precious thing, so following his instruction, he started to chant the mantra and meditate upon the mantra. Then Gop Kumar lost interest for everything. He developed such attachment to chanting of this mantra that he lost interest in playing with his friends, tending the cows. He lost interest in everything. All he wanted is just chant the mantra. And he felt that everything else is an impediment to his chanting. His friends, his surrounding, his family, because he felt that these are just some impediments for his chanting. Therefore he decided to leave that place. So he left and he started to wander around, travel. While traveling, he came across a kingdom. He came to a kingdom, and there he found a beautiful temple of the Lord. And he found that the king actually built the temple, and the king actually takes care of the worship of the Lord in such a wonderful way, as if that is the most important business the king actually had. And Gopkumar was very happy to be there. Now he is in a place where he can see the Lord. He can see how the Lord is being served, how wonderfully the Lord is being worshipped. So Gopkumar decided to stay there. And he just stayed there. Throughout the day he would just watch the Lord and how he is being worshipped. And then he saw in the evening, at night, he would just sleep in some corner of the temple. And that's how he was spending his time, very happily. Chanting the mantra, meditating the mantra, watching how the Lord is being worshipped. He was very happily spending his time. Now in the meantime, the king died. And the king did not have any successor to the throne. So the ministers started to look for an appropriate person to become the king. So while searching for an appropriate successor to the throne, they found that all the divine symptoms, all the auspicious symptoms are in the personality of this Gopkumar. So they made him the king. So Gopkumar became the king, and although he became the king, but he was not interested in the luxury and pleasure and comforts of the kingdom. He was simply concerned about serving the Lord and arranging for the Lord's worship. And spread the glory of the Lord to all his citizens. And he would see that people who would come to the temple, the pilgrims and even his citizens, they were not so respectful to the Lord sometimes, and they were not so respectful towards the prasad. They would think, oh, this prasad is stale, so they would throw away the prasad. Sometimes they would just leave the remnants. And so seeing that, Gopkumar used to feel very heartbroken. Then he got to know that there is a place called Purushottam Kshetra, where the Lord's prasad is never considered to be stale or rotten or unacceptable. Under all circumstances, people take that prasad of Lord Jagannath, in whichever condition it may be. So hearing that, he became eager to see Lord Jagannath. So he left his kingdom and he went to Purushottam Kshetra. There also he started to spend his time just in the temple. He was spending his time in the temple, and he saw that how the Lord Jagannath was so merciful, and his prasad is being so respectfully honored by the pilgrims. And this is how he was spending his time in Jagannath Puri. In an ecstatic way, he was spending his time there in the presence of Lord Jagannath. And then there also the king died. And the king's eldest son did not want to become the king. So his ministers also found that Gop Kumar is the right candidate to become the king. So we can see how honest people used to be those days. Ministers are looking for an appropriate person to become the king. Now what would happen? First of all, there is no king. And if the king died, then the minister would try to become the king. He would be the first one to take over the kingdom. Anyway, so Gop Kumar again became the king there in Jagannath Puri. So Gop Kumar again was ruling the kingdom, but he was not at all interested in the pleasure and luxury of the king, of becoming a king. So Gop Kumar his main concern was to serve the Lord. Then Gop Kumar got to know about the kingdom of heaven, Swargaloka, and how in Swargaloka the Lord is present personally and he accepts the worship of Indra personally. Like if Indra offers him something, he takes it with his own hand. Indra is there. The Lord is the younger brother of Indra, Upendra. Upa means sub or junior. So he is Indra's younger brother. So there he is. So Gop Kumar became interested to see how Indra is worshipping the Lord and how the Lord is accepting the offerings of Indra. And now as Gop Kumar desired to go to heavenly planet, just by the potency of the mantra, so this is the potency of the mantra. You chant the mantra and as a result of the mantra, your desire becomes fulfilled. Because of the potency of chanting the mantra, he was elevated to heavenly planet, Swargaloka. So he is spending his time in Swargaloka. He is not interested in the pleasure and other facilities that are available in. He is simply interested in seeing how Indra is worshipping the Lord and how the Lord is accepting Indra's worship. Now there, one day, Indra became afraid of some Brahmana's curse and he ran away from heaven. So the kingdom of heaven, the throne of Swargaloka became vacant. So the demigods then, headed by Brihaspati, their guru, they appointed Gop Kumar as Indra. So Gop Kumar became Indra. So Gop Kumar then started to spend his time there as Indra, ruling over the demigods and controlling the affairs of this material nature. But Gop Kumar is not interested in any kind of luxury or comfort. Sometimes some people became Indra, but they got into trouble because of their tendency to enjoy there. But we find that Gop Kumar was not at all interested. He didn't even stay in the palace of Indra. There's a garden in heaven called Nandan Kanan. So he used to spend his night in Nandan Kanan. He used to sleep in the forest, that garden of heaven. And during day, he used to spend his time taking care of various affairs and worship of the Lord. Then one day Gopkumar saw some very brilliant personalities came there. They looked like they're brilliant as the sun, effulgent. So Gopkumar wondered, who are these people? So Brihaspati then told him, Brihaspati is the guru of the demigods. So Brihaspati told him that these are the exalted sages from the higher planetary systems. Bhrigu, Pulastha, Pulaha, Marichi, Kratu, Angira. So he wanted to know, oh, there is some other planets higher than heaven. So Brihaspati gave him the description of the next higher planetary system, Maharloka. And Gopkumar, hearing upon Maharloka, hearing about Maharloka, he desired to go to Maharloka. And due to the potency of the mantra, he was elevated to Maharloka. And then he saw in Maharloka these exalted sages, they are performing sacrifice to the Lord. And as they would perform the sacrifice, from the sacrificial fire, the Lord would appear. And he would grant the wishes of everyone. Of course, naturally they did not desire anything but the service to his lotus feet. And then, all of a sudden, that place became very hot. So he wondered what happened. And then he got to know that the time of annihilation has come, and the fire that is coming from Shankarshan's mouth is burning everything. And that heat even reached up to Maharloka. So they all evacuated Maharloka. Then they went to Janaloka, even higher planetary system. So Gopkumar was spending his time in Janaloka with even more exalted personalities. Then Gopkumar was elevated to Tapoloka. Tapoloka is the region where the 4 Kumaras are predominating. And there they are just absorbed in meditation. And in that meditation they would come so close to the Super Soul that they would even see the Super Soul. And then he was elevated to Satyaloka, the abode of Lord Brahma. And there also, at some point, Brahma playfully touched the water of the Garbha ocean, and out of that came out one demon. Brahma became so afraid that he ran away. And now Brahma's position became vacant. So Gopkumar was asked to become Brahma. So Gopkumar accepted that position. Then when he was in Satyaloka, then one day he saw his spiritual master. In between he saw his spiritual master actually a couple of times. He met him in Jagannath Puri. He saw him, and that is how actually he got the information about heavenly planet. But this time his spiritual master told him to go back to the earth planet and worship the Lord in Vrindavan. So from Satyaloka he came back to the earth planet. Can you imagine how many kalpas went by? One day of Brahma is 1000 Chaturjugas. So he must have been there for so many months or maybe so many years. So when he came, the earth planet became completely changed. But Vrindavan was still the same. There was no change in Vrindavan. The way he saw Vrindavan when he left Vrindavan, the way he saw Vrindavan in his childhood, Vrindavan was still the same, exactly the same. So in Vrindavan, he was chanting the mantra, meditating upon the mantra. And then as a result of that, one day he found himself as if moving in a very, very powerful vehicle, moving with a tremendous speed. And he saw gradually the earth planet disappeared, heavenly planet, he went past heavenly planet, Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, Satyaloka, where he spent so much time. And finally Satyaloka, Brahma's planet also disappeared out of his vision. And then he came to the covering of the material nature, covering of the universe. The first covering is the covering of earth. And there he saw the earth personified, Mother Earth, is worshipping Varahadev. So he spent some time there. Then he went to the next, after observing what is happening there, he got the information about the next planet, next layer, the layer of water. There he found the water personified is worshipping Kurmadev. Then he came to the region of fire. So these are all the subtle layers of the elements. It has been described, whatever is happening in the gross platform has already happened in the subtle platform. Nothing is happening by chance. Everything already happened there. So he went past one after another layer. Earth layer, water layer, fire layer, air layer, ether layer. Then the layer of mind, layer of false ego. This is how he went past the 7 layers of the universe. Then he came to the final region, the region of Maya. And there he saw Maya Devi Maya Devi is worshipping the Mohini Murti of the Lord. The Lord in his Mohini form. And Maya Devi asked him, where are you going? Stay here. Enjoy with me. But Gopkumar offered his humble obeisances. Please allow me to go and serve your brother. Please allow me to go to your brother. So then Maya Devi blessed him to be successful in his mission. Then Gopkumar came out of the universe and he came to a light. All he could see is a brilliant light. And this light was so dazzling that he was about to lose his senses. And he was afraid. He was very afraid that if losing his senses means forgetting the Lord. This is the first time he couldn't see the Lord. Everywhere he went, he could see the Lord. Now he couldn't see the Lord. Only sometimes in a flash, he was seeing the super soul. In a flash, appearing and disappearing. So Gopkumar started to pray to Lord Jagannath. Then all of a sudden he heard the sound of kirtan. And he saw one personality whose bodily complexion is white as camphor is coming down, riding on a bull, surrounded by his associates. They all were chanting his glory. So he wondered, who is this person? So one of the associates of this person told him, oh, you don't know. This is Lord Shiva. And he is actually not different from Hari. Same personality. So in this way they started to sing the glory of Lord Shiva, and they invited him to join their party. But Gopkumar gracefully declined. And then he came to the gate of Vaikuntha. And when he came to the gate of Vaikuntha, he saw the Lord there. So he immediately offered obeisances and started to offer his prayers to him. Oh, Supreme Personality of Godhead, please accept my humble obeisances. Please allow me to become your eternal servant. And hearing that, this person just covered his ears and said, I am not the Lord, I am not the Lord. Saying that, he ran inside. So then Gopkumar saw somebody came flying in a spaceship, a transcendental aeroplane. And he thought him to be the Lord. So he started to offer his obeisances to him and offering his glory, offering his prayers to him. So this person also became very embarrassed and started to say, no, 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 I am not the Lord, I am not the Lord. And he ran inside. So then somebody took pity upon Gopkumar and he took him to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and told him how to recognize him. There everybody looks like the Lord. They had 4 arms and they're carrying lotus, disc, conch and mess. But the way to recognize the Lord is, there is Srivatsa mark on his chest and Kaustava jewel, only he wears. So anyway, the Lord was very kind to Gopkumar. He greeted him with great affection and treated him with great love and compassion. And Gopkumar now is staying in Vaikuntha as a resident of Vaikuntha. He is staying there. So the resident of Vaikuntha asked him, look, you have come to Vaikuntha, so you assume your Vaikuntha form. Why are you maintaining your human-like cowherd form? But Gopkumar was not interested. He said, no, I don't want to change my form. I don't want this 4-arm form. So in this way Gopkumar was seeing the wonderful activities of the Lord, and Lakshmi Devi is so compassionate towards him, also treating him just like her son. And then Gopkumar was spending his time there. Then Gopkumar got elevated to Ajodha. There he saw Lord Ramchandra, the great hero. And he received so much mercy from the Lord. The Lord treated him so nicely. And then Gopkumar was finally elevated to Dwarka. In Dwarka, Gopkumar met the Lord. And the Lord, seeing him, came down and he saw the flute in Gopkumar's hand. So he took the flute, and looking at the flute, the Lord started to shed tears, remembering Vrindavan. And there also Gopkumar is spending time watching the Lord, and he was staying in the house of Uddhava, and the Lord was so kind to him, and he also saw the residents of Dwarka are so dear to the Lord, and they would treat, I mean, first of all, their whole personalities are so full of devotion to the Lord, and they were so dedicated to serving the Lord, and the Lord is also so merciful towards them. And the queens were so compassionate and so caring and so loving towards Gopkumar. So in this way Gopkumar was spending his time in Dwarka. And he was staying in the house of Uddhava. So one day Narad Muni came there. So Gopkumar saw Narad Muni, and he was very happy to see him. He met Narad Muni before also. He met Narad Muni in Heavenly Planet and other places. So he asked, so it seems that you are everywhere. And Narad Muni said, yes. Just as the Lord expands himself, we also go along with him and maintaining our same identity. So he gave Gopkumar a clear understanding. And Narad Muni told Uddhav that this person is so fortunate. We know that his attachment is actually to Vrindavan. Now Vrindavan is the region where you and I also cannot go. But this person has developed his attachment to Vrindavan. We don't have the means to go to Vrindavan, but he has. And in this way Narad Muni started to describe the glory of Vrindavan and the wonderful pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in Vrindavan. So in this way, then Narad Muni suggested that he goes back to Vrindavan, earthly Vrindavan. Because from Dwarka there is no access to Vrindavan. One cannot go to Vrindavan from Vaikuntha, Ajodhya or Dwarka. What is the way to go to Vrindavan? Come back to the earthly Vrindavan. And in earthly Vrindavan, what does one do? One chant the holy name of the Lord in Sankirtan, singing the glory of the Lord and His activities, singing the glory of the qualities of the Lord, the beauty of the Lord, magnanimity of the Lord, chivalry of the Lord, remembering His pastimes. He was always singing the glory of the Lord, visiting different places of His pastimes. And then one day Gopkumar saw Krishna, and seeing him he just ran to meet him. He almost caught the end of his cloth, uttariya, but it slipped out of his hand and the Lord disappeared behind a bush. Gopkumar was so heartbroken that he came so close to the Lord, yet he couldn't get him. Due to that acute agony, Gopkumar fainted, and his body rolled down to Jamuna. And then when Gopkumar regained his consciousness, he found that he was moving with a tremendous speed, as if someone was carrying him with in a wonderful vehicle. And then Gopkumar arrived in Vrindavan. He arrived in the afternoon. So that is another thing about Vrindavan. You see, heavenly planet, Vaikuntha planet is in eternal light. Na tad bhashayate surja, na shashanka na pavaka, jad gatvana nivartante, stadhama paramam mama. That in order to light up that region, there is no need for sun, moon or fire. That means that region is always lit with Brahmacharya. Spiritual sky is the region where it is always lit up with Brahmacharya. Material world is in eternal darkness, and that world is eternal light. But Vrindavan is different. Vrindavan is just like Earth planet. There is sunrise, noontime, afternoon, sunset, just like Earth planet. Only difference is that here things happen according to the movement of sun, and there things happen according to Krishna's desire. It happens sometimes. Krishna is tending the cows, it's a midday, and then Krishna desires to have a rasa dance. Then immediately everything becomes dark. It becomes night. All of a sudden, midday becomes night. And the full moon comes up in the sky. And Krishna starts to play his flute, all the gopis come running. So this is how Vrindavan is a place where time doesn't move. Nahi jatrapi brajati samaya. There time samaya doesn't move. But anyway, but it looks like the earth planet. Even the residents there look like human beings. So that is Vrindavan. Therefore, our acharyas have identified Vrindavan as aprakrita. Prakrita means material, and Vrindavan is opposite to material. That's how they have been identified. Opposite means it looks the same but diametrically opposite. Anyway, so Gopakumar arrived there sometime in the afternoon, and he saw some young girls picking flowers, and they all were singing the glories of Krishna. So seeing that, Gopakumar just approached one of them and asked, "Can you please tell me where is the house of Nanda Maharaj? Can you please tell me where I can find Krishna?" They didn't even look at him. He just kept on picking flowers, singing. So he thought, either these girls are all deaf, or they're so absorbed in thinking about the personality whose glory they're singing that they don't have any external consciousness. And there he found everybody in that kind of state. He saw some elderly people, they're talking among themselves about Krishna. They're talking, singing the glory of Krishna. And when he asked, "Can you please tell me where is the house of Nanda Maharaj? Where can we find Krishna?" They didn't pay. So finally one old lady took pity upon him and told him, "Look, that is the house of Nanda Maharaj. Go there. Krishna has gone to the pasturing ground to tend the cow, and he'll come back soon." So Gopakumar went there, and he found that everyone was looking a certain direction all of a sudden. And he could hear the mooing of the cows, and he saw the dust was flying in the horizon. And then he saw Krishna and Balaram in front of the cowherd boys. They're coming,
And they're coming back from the western ground with the car. Seeing Krishna, Gopakumar just ran to meet him. And seeing Gopakumar also, Krishna came running. Both of them just ran and they just embraced each other. And Krishna, while speaking, how happy he was to see Gopakumar come back. Krishna fainted. And when Krishna fainted, everybody became very worried, especially the gopis. They started to think whether this is a demon sent by Kamsa, came to harm Krishna. And cowherd boys also, they picked up their stick to kind of take care of this intruder. Maybe a Kamsa's agent. But Balaram came running and seeing Krishna's condition and seeing Gopakumar, Balaram could understand. So Balaram told Gopakumar to chant the holy name in Krishna's ears. And when Gopakumar did that, Gopakumar chanted Krishna's name, Krishna came back. So then Krishna took Gopakumar by the hand and took him to his house. Anyway, this is how Gopakumar actually entered into Vrindavan. So now you can see how one enters into Vrindavan. What is the way to go to Vrindavan? Through Vrindavan. And what is the means? Chanting the holy name of the Lord. So that is what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give. This is the process. And Mahaprabhu made this process available. Gopakumar was fortunately instructed by Narad Muni and Buddha. There are some rare personalities who had access to Vrindavan in those days. But with us, it has become so easily available. Jai Shri Shri Radha Radhana Shri Gauranga. And the means is Hare Nama Hare Nama Kevalam Valo Naste Naste. Now I'll give some time for questions, and if possible, I will add a little bit after I hear the question on this part. And if there is time, then I think we'll have some time, because we have over 45 minutes. So I will then clarify some other aspect of the holy name, especially the special mercy that Krishna came to bestow at Sri Chaitanya. Okay, today, now, if anybody has any question, can ask. Yes, Swasti? Yeah, just wait for the mic. Why?
Why is it not possible for Narada Muni to go to Vrindavan?
Yeah, because the relationship that he has with Krishna, it doesn't allow him to develop this loving relationship. Because he has the awareness of Krishna as the Supreme Personality. In a way, in simple words, Narada Muni's relationship to Krishna is in Dasya, Ras or Vaikuntha. But predominating relationship in Vrindavan is in friendship, parental. But Narada Muni did have access. You know how? When he came as Srivastava. in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime, then he had access to it. Okay? Similarly, Brahma also got access to Vrindavan as Haridas by participating in Prabhu's pastime. This is how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu created the good fortune for him. Yes, Sri Hari?
So much when we chant Hare Krishna, it's good to just try to hear the holy names, not think anything. But is it like better or okay, or what is it? We try to meditate on Krishna's form, his pastimes.
Okay, it seems that you are not there in the morning. Yeah, okay, that's right. So this morning we actually discussed about that point. How to chant. The point that I made, briefly actually, didn't really go into the detail. You see, the sound vibration, the way to receive sound vibration is through hearing. So the way to receive the transcendental sound vibration, Hare Krishna Maharaj, just by hearing. There is no need for imagination. Because if you try to even think of Krishna's pastime, what will happen? You will try to think of Krishna's pastimes. Maybe you will succeed in doing that for 2 minutes. Then your mind will start thinking about something other than Krishna. Right? Therefore, Prabhupada is saying, just meditate, just hear when you are chanting. Then, from the holy name, Krishna's form will become. We do not have to create something with our mind. Krishna will appear. Right? And when Krishna appears, then Krishna, along with Krishna's form, Krishna's quality will become manifest. Naam, Roop, Gun, Lila, Bodhikar, Vaishishta. From the name, Krishna's form, Krishna's quality. When Krishna becomes manifest, his quality will automatically become manifest. Krishna's quality, along with quality, Krishna's pastimes will become manifest. Along with Krishna's pastimes, his associates will become manifest. In this way, the entire spiritual sky will become manifest. It's just a matter of chanting. This point we'll discuss again tomorrow through Bhaktivinoda Thakur's description on the glory of the Lord. Don't miss that class. Okay? Yeah.
Gurmat, you also explained in the morning session that we receive the holy name through hearing as well as the mind needs to be attentive.
Yeah, right.
How does the heart then also play a role in that?
The heart is with the mind. You see, when the mind is there, then, the feelings will automatically become manifest, which is the involvement of the heart. Yes?
Maharaj, what the Prabhu is trying to also, the first, I think the neck of instruction says that if you're enthusiastic, then everything will come naturally. Be enthusiastic, and everything will naturally come.
Yeah. Well, yes, enthusiasm here indicates probably sincerity. Enthusiasm, anyway, yes. Sincere chanting. Yes.
We have another code in Vrindavan.
Yeah.
How would that?
Well, normally, I have to check it. How did Narada manifest? I don't really. Yes, Sabbasachi?
Krishna Maharaj, I wanted to find out since the story of Kumar is given also Basically, is Brihad Bhagavatamrita considered an itihas, like a history, or is it rather like Bhagavat, like Srimad Bhagavatam?
Well, it is an extension of Bhagavad Purana. So it falls in the category of Purana. Not one of the 18 Puranas, but it's an extension of Bhagavad Purana, based on Bhagavad. You see, Brihad Bhagavatam is giving the clearer understanding of the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam. What is Bhagavatam teaching us? Bhagavatam, as a Mahapuran, it gives us a very clear understanding of creation, sub-creation, planetary system, how everything is being maintained by the Lord, then the propensity to expand or procreate, then the reigns of Manu, the descriptions of the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then cessation of material existence, liberation, and ultimate shelter and discussion. So it's gradually taking us to that ultimate point, as Prabhupada said, samam. So that all you can, when you see that Srimad Brihad Bhagavatam is actually elaborating these concepts and clarifying them for us.
Hare Krishna. Please then Gopuma goes from Purushottam Kshetra to Maharlaka. That seems like an impact.
Not Purushottam Kshetra to Maharlaka. Purushottam Kshetra to Sarvabhuma. He meets his spiritual master. And his spiritual master instructs him. And so according to his instruction, he gets information, and that information causes him the desire to go there. And by the potency of the mantra, he is elevated.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj, I heard that Srila Bhakti mentioned that the pastimes of Krishna where he kills demons, they are not eternally manifest in the spiritual sky, Goloka Vrindavan. How do the residents of Goloka Vrindavan and the concept of after Gokumar gave a heart to Lord Krishna that he must be maybe a demon sent by Kamsa?
Yeah, say it again.
He said that Srila mentioned the pastimes of Krishna killing the demons, they are not eternally manifest.
Oh,
in Goloka Vrindavan.
Okay. It is not there. In Vrindavan, the demons are not there. But impressions of the demons are there. You see, they think, demons are not there, but they think that, oh, maybe Kamsa will come. So that feeling is there. Similarly, in Vrindavan, Golok Vrindavan, Krishna's childhood pastimes are not there. But they remember, oh, you know, when Krishna was a young boy, he did this, that, and did that. Like, this is how those impressions from the earthly Vrindavan is carried on to Golok.
I'd like to find out if there's any special significance why Gopuma is given the Gopal mantra instead of, say, Mahamantra.
Well, you see, again, as I said, like what he got from his spiritual master is the Gayatri. Gopal mantra is the Gayatri. And this Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the special mercy of Chaitanya. It is there, and you see, like what he was doing, as it has been described there, calling out to the Lord with the love of his heart, addressing him by his favorite names. Right? So when it comes to that, and so, you know, yes, he was probably chanting Hare Krishna. But at that time it was not described because it was kept a secret. Hare Krishna Mahamantra is a big secret. Even in Brihad Bhagavatam Rathakrita it was disclosed. Even Srimad Bhagavatam it was disclosed. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's special mercy. Yes.
I was just noticing with Gopakumar's journey, there seems to be a constant theme of separation from Krishna as he's going from one place to another. And I was just thinking in terms of the material world as well. I mean, we chant Hare Krishna to be with Krishna because we are sort of eternally separated parts and parcels of Krishna. So my question is, does the separated feeling, the feeling of separation, does it ever end in the spiritual world?
In spiritual world, there are these two factors are present: union and separation. It's not just continuous separation. They do meet, but then they become separated. Now when they become separated, then the urge, yearning to become united becomes more intensified. Right? If there was no separation, then again it would have become boring. And it has been pointed out that separation is even more intense. The feeling of separation leads to even more intense feeling than union. That's why we are in actually better situation. We are naturally separated from Krishna. So now in that mood of separation, we are hankering to have Krishna's union.
Maharaj, I have one more question. How is it possible for Gopakumar to almost supersede his spiritual master's position? So now when he was at Dasya Ras, how is it possible for you to supersede that?
Yeah. Gopakumar's actual spiritual master here is that, remember the one in Vrindavan? So that is what is leading him to. That is the personality leading him to.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. At what point did he know or realize his Swarapsiddhi?
Can you please repeat?
At what point did Gopakumar realize his Swarapsiddhi?
At what point?
Yes, with the name Krishna.
Realize what?
His eternal association or form.
At what point?
Yes.
When you become totally free from all material attachments and become situated in spiritual consciousness.
So when he met Krishna, he was still in his present.
Yeah, right. It's a process. Follow the process, it will happen. It will happen by Krishna's divine arrangement. At what point we cannot say. We can't dictate Krishna. Krishna, after 5 years, you have to give me liberation, or you have to give me my sovereignty. Krishna can give it in 5 seconds. But we have to become qualified. Our main consideration is our qualification. Qualification means how attached we have become to Krishna. Right? And that attachment to Krishna will naturally cause detachment to material involvement. Material involvement again means sense gratification, our personal interest. When you put ourselves in the center, that is material. When you put Krishna in the center, that is spiritual. Just judge it from that point. How much we are putting ourselves in the center. Or are we putting Krishna in the center or ourselves in the center? Check it out. Okay? Hare Krishna. Yes. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj was making that nice point this morning about siddhi, perfection from the chanting of the holy names. And then there's a nice verse where it says, Lava Bhakta, Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi. And by moment's association with pure devotee, all perfection also comes. So we are all chanting, and to us all the chanting seems the same because the sound vibration appears to us to be the same. So in the 11th canto, Gopipadananda Prabhu makes a point about sound is coming from the Muladhara chakra. And because of the impurities in the heart, when it's expressed, it can't be pure sound. So how can we differentiate that this person is chanting, the sound vibration which is coming from this chanting is the pure sound vibration? In that verse says Lava Bhakta, are we referring to that association with that devotee's chanting, which is giving us that perfection?
Yeah, again, we go back to that point, the degree of our purification. To what extent we have become purified. Right? Like, take it on the sound also. So much sound comes from the tip of the tongue. As we say, giving a lip service, don't we? But more earnest is when it is coming from the heart. The real sound actually comes from the heart. Karnarandra Pathodiya Ridimache Probeshia Borishaya Shuddha. Hriday, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is describing, Hriday with the body. The holy name rises from the heart. That is what it is. Because the heart is where the soul is. And then the extent of purity that the soul has developed, to that extent, the purity of the holy name.
If someone is like a pure devotee, can they differentiate that this person is chanting, that sound vibration is not pure, or because they are there, they can actually perceive that. We may not be able to perceive it. So if you tell me that actually Prabhupada...
Yeah, I think it does. Pure devotee does. Sometimes we would chant near Prabhupada's room. Actually, once I was chanting, I was next to Prabhupada's room. I was actually attending Srila Prabhupada. And I was chanting very loudly. And at the back of my mind, I was thinking, Prabhupada would hear my chanting and he would appreciate me. Then Prabhupada called me and said, stop chanting. So he could see that I was chanting the holy name. I was chanting my false ego.
So that chanting, basically, I get exposure to it. But even though I may not appreciate it, but still that pure chanting is affecting me in a very tangible way compared to something else.
Yeah, you see, like, both are actually important, as Prabhupada pointed out. It's important that we hear the holy name from pure devotee. And then it's up to us how we will receive it. You get the point? Like, we may hear from a pure devotee, we may receive it from the pure devotee, but the extent of our reception will depend upon our purity. He may be giving the pure stuff, but how pure are we to receive it? Our consciousness may cause some impurity. And rather, the impurity of our consciousness will cause the impurity of the holy name. Anyone else? Any other question? Okay, good. Now I'll go to the next phase. I won't take very long. And then also I'll give you some time to ask questions. You see, Krishna came in this particular Kali Yuga, particular Dwapar. What is this sequence? 7th Manvantar, Vaivashata Manvantar, 28th Chaturyuga, end of Dwapar. The end part of the last phase of Dwapar. Krishna came. And what did Krishna display? Appearing here, Krishna actually revealed his Braja Leela. Now, what is the specialty about Braja Leela? Why Braja Leela is so special? Because in Braja Leela, Krishna is not displaying himself as the Supreme Personality of God. Rather, in these pastimes, Krishna is displaying, he is dealing with his devotees in friendship, parental and conjugal relationship. Now, generally people think that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the Supreme Personality of God. Now, does Krishna's activities in Vrindavan look like the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? No. But that is the special aspect of Braja Leela. People cannot understand, people could not understand about Krishna's Braja Leela. And Krishna himself considered, Chaitanya Charitamrita is describing that point. Jatheshto bihori Krishna kare antardhan kori mone kare onuma. After abundantly performing his pastimes, Krishna withdrew his pastimes. Kare antardhan, Krishna disappeared. And disappearing from this planet. Antardhan kori mone kare onuman. Krishna considered in his mind. Anuman, the word Anuman literally means pondered or guessed. He guessed. He thought. He considered that how will people ever understand these pastimes of mine? Because everybody considers me, all my devotees generally consider me to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And they worship me following the rules and regulations of the scriptures. Shakal jagate more kore vidhi bhakti. Vidhi bhakti praja prem dite narishu. Like Vaidhi Bhakti cannot give one the understanding of Braja. This point is to consider that point. Vaidhi Bhakti means worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, following the rules and regulations of the scriptures, following the mood of awe and reverence. So following the Vaidhi Bhakti, when one achieves perfection, where does it go? Vaikuntha. In what is the mood in Vaikuntha? Awe and reverence. But what's the mood in Vrindavan? It's friendship, parental and conjugal. So Krishna considered, how will anyone ever enter into Vrindavan? Because my devotees will naturally serve me following Vaidhi Bhakti. And serving me in Vaidhi Bhakti, they will go to Vaikuntha. So how will anybody ever enter into Vrindavan? Do you see that Krishna has a problem? I mean, it's a puzzle that Krishna had to solve. Devotees will naturally worship me following Vaidhi Bhakti. Following Vaidhi Bhakti, they'll go to Vaikuntha, and then how will they ever enter into Vrindavan? Another consideration is that when you go to Vaikuntha, you get to your Sarup, spiritual identity. And that spiritual identity is eternal. You remember Gopkumar, the Vaikuntha Vasis were asking, like, why are you retaining your human life form? And Gopkumar didn't want to change. So Gopkumar is a rare case. Like, he didn't want to change. Otherwise, everybody who goes to Vaikuntha will assume is Foram Vaikuntha. So Krishna considered that how will anybody ever enter into Vrindavan? Therefore, Krishna decided to come as a devotee. Now see how this actually solved the problem. You serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead following Vaidhi Bhakti, you'll go to Vaikuntha. You will serve the devotee Supreme Personality of Godhead following Vaidhi Bhakti, because Vaidhi Bhakti is a must. Although sometimes it has been said that Rag Bhakti, sometimes Raghunath Das Goswami is speaking about Rag Bhakti, Raganuga Bhakti. But the consideration is that if you want to follow Raganuga Bhakti yourself, then don't stay in Dharma. Go to the forest. Because otherwise, if you try to follow Raganuga Bhakti in the society, it will create a disturbance. You remember that verse? Shruti, Shriti, Puranadi, Pancharatra, Vidhing Vina, Oikeantiki, Harer Bhaktir, Utpatoiva Kalpate. Utpatoiva Kalpate. Do you know the meaning of the word Utpat? Utpat means disturbance. Not only ordinary disturbance, terrible disturbance. So it will simply this form. Like if one renders devotional service without following the Shruti, Smriti, Puran, etc. Even this bhakti is Oikeantiki. Oikeantiki means very earnest, very sincere. It will simply create Oikeantiki Hare Bhakti Utpatoiva. It will simply be seen as a disturbance. It will simply become disturbance. So the point is, in this way we see that Rupa Goswami in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is making it very clear that devotional service must be executed following Vaidhi. And Krishna also is considering the same point. My Shakol Jagate More Kore Vidhi Bhakti. The whole world is worshipping me following Vaidhi Bhakti. That's the natural tendency of a devotee. So, devotees will render service following Vaidhi. But when the Vaidhi Bhakti is executed towards Supreme Personality of Godhead, one goes to Vrindavan. When Vaidhi Bhakti is rendered to the devotee Supreme Personality of Godhead, that opens up the gate of Vrindavan. You got the point? That is how Krishna solved the problem. So he decided to come as a devotee. Now see, there is another consideration which has been explained by Nityananda Prabhu while he was instructing Jiva Goswami. Nityananda Prabhu is making that point. That Krishna came as a devotee. What does it mean? At the same time, we know Krishna came as with the mood of Radharani. So mood of Radharani, what's the mood of Radharani? Mood of Radharani is pure love. Right? So this is the mood that Krishna assumed. Krishna appeared in the mood of Srimati Radharani. Therefore Krishna came assuming the mood of a devotee. Okay, now let us go back to different types of bhakti. There are two types of bhakti. Vaidhi Bhakti leads to Vaikuntha. And what's the other kind of bhakti? Raganuga bhakti. This Raganuga bhakti leads to Vrindavan. Now let us consider the meaning of the word Raganuga, Raganuga. Rag means pure love. The word Rag means pure love. And the residents of Vrindavan have only love and love and love for Krishna. Therefore they are known as Ragatmika bhaktas. Ragatmika. So Rag Anuga. Anuga means following. Anugami. Anuga. So when a Ragatmika bhakta is followed, when devotional service is executed following a Ragatmika bhakta, then that is called Raganuga. Okay. Now, when we are following Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that is Krishna as a devotee, who are we following? Srimati Radharani. Who is the greatest devotee? Who is the greatest Ragatmika bhakta of Vrindavan? Srimati Radharani. When you are following Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, see how your bhakti is automatically being transformed into Raganuga. Serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu following Vaidhi Bhakti, and Vaidhi Bhakti will be transformed into Raganuga. Raganuga Bhakti could be executed like the Goswamis of Vrindavan or the residents of Vrindavan did. But look at their situation. They were in the remote corners of Vrindavan. All they were absorbed in remembering Krishna and singing the glories of Krishna. They didn't have any other activity. But Mahaprabhu wanted to distribute Krishna consciousness all over the world. So just consider, if one follows that kind of Raganuga Bhakti, you know what that Raganuga Bhakti means? That Raganuga Bhakti means following a resident of Vrindavan, assuming that person. Now, will it be possible to execute in a city like Durban, in a city like Melbourne, in a city like New York, in a city like Moscow, in a city like Mumbai, in a city like Calcutta? Will it be possible? No. Therefore, see, the perfect system that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arranged, follow Vaidhi Bhakti, and automatically it will be transformed into Raganuga. And what is the Vaidhi Bhakti? Vaidhi Bhakti means following the rules and regulations of the scriptures. Now, what is the instructions of the scripture? How to serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Jaggai Sankirtana Prayai Jajantihi Sumena. The way to serve Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is by Sankirtan Yajna. Sankirtan Yajna Kari Krishna Maharaj. This Krishna is worshipped by Sankirtan. So Sankirtan Yajna means, what now let us consider, what's the meaning of Sankirtan? It's a very special type of Yajna. What kind of Yajna it is? Not throwing ghee in the fire. It is a fire. The Sankirtan also has 7 kinds of fire. That fire is the chanting the holy name. So, chant the holy name, invite everybody to chant, and motivate everybody to chant, and facilitate everybody to chant. That is Sankirtan. So this is how this movement is going to spread. Not only is going to spread, it is spreading all over. And see how wonderfully devotees are making spiritual advancement. And as I said, that the ultimate proof of our advancement will be how we are going to die. At the time of death, with what kind of consciousness will live our body. And one thing you can notice, like how when devotees leave this planet, you can see the extent of the degree of their advancement. This morning I was speaking about Savitri Priya in London, that lady who left her body. Here also I was also thinking how Jasoda Mai left her body. She didn't want to have anything to do, any attachment to the material nature at the time. She clearly said, she just wanted to leave the body without any attachment. So these are simple ladies. They are not very big scholars. They are not big Sankirtan devotees, but they are not big book distributors. They are not big managers and sannyasis and GBCs. Ordinary ladies living their body in such pure consciousness. Now where they are going when they are living their body, and how they are able to live their body in this way, that is the proof of our spiritual advancement. So now you see the perfect process that Srila Prabhupada gave. Do we have to go anywhere else, thinking that Prabhupada did not give us anything, everything? We have to get something that Prabhupada didn't give to somebody else from somebody else? If somebody comes with that kind of proposal, what should be our response? Get lost. We have the perfect process, and this is how. See, who is confirming? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is confirming this process. Nityananda Prabhu is confirming this process. Prabodhananda Saraswati is confirming this process. Prabodhananda Saraswati made such a wonderful point in this respect. Yatha yatha gaura padara binde, bindeta bhuktin krita punna rashi, tatha tatha sharpati ridi akashman, radha padam puja sudham rashi. As one develops his attachment to the lotus feet of Gaura, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jatha jatha gaura padara binde, bindeta bhukti kritapunna rashi, due to his heaps of pious activities, as he develops his attachment to the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Tatha tatha utsharpati, according to that attachment to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Tatha tatha. See, jatha jatha means as, and tatha tatha means accordingly. Accordingly, tatha tatha utsharpati, springs forth. Ridi akashman, from the heart. Akashman, how many of you know the meaning of this word? Akashman. All of a sudden, the heart, from the heart will spring forth. Tatha tatha utsharpati, Ridi akashman, Radha padam bhojastham rashi. The nectar, rashi, the flow of nectar, abundant flow of nectar from the lotus feet of Srimati Radha. You develop your attachment to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet, and your heart will be inundated with Radha Radha's mercy. And that is Brajapati. So we do not have to separately endeavor for Brajapati. Just develop our attachment to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the rest will automatically happen. Somebody was asking the other day, how will it happen? I don't know whether the question came here or somewhere else. I just remembered. He was asking, how will it happen? How our attachment to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet will lead us to Vrindavan? The answer to that is, when you serve Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, And when this attachment to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet achieves its perfection, then what will happen? In place of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you'll see Radha Krishna, just as Ramananda Rai saw. And when you are seeing Radha Krishna, where are you? Jai Shri Shri Radha Radha, Jai Shri Shri Gauratai, Jai Guru Shri Prabhupada. So when you are developing an attachment to Srimati Radharani, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in place of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you will see Radha Krishna. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none other than Radha Krishna. And when you are seeing Radha Krishna, where are you? You are in Vrindavan. So this is how we have access. It seems that the temple watch is 5 minutes faster. Huh? Okay, yes.
If you could just give some clarification on how we have a goal of reaching Vrindavan, becoming a pure devotee. But in my understanding is that we are Sankirtan movement, and our goal is to take shelter of the lotus feet of the spiritual master. And the spiritual master is eternally on Sankirtan. So wouldn't our higher goal be to serve the spiritual master lifetime after lifetime in his movement, rather than desire the goal of Vrindavan?
Well, as Prabhupada said, there is an ISKCON in the spiritual sky also. So after this life, if you make it, you'll end up in the ISKCON there. And Prabhupada is there, will be there, all the devotees will be there. So that is how the elevation will take place. And as I said, like, yes, Sankirtan, we are serving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then how Mahaprabhu's mercy will become manifest, that's up to him. Like it has been described that when Gopkumar was going from Dwarka to Vrindavan, he actually did not bid farewell to Krishna. And Uddhav actually told him, he was about to go to Krishna. And Uddhav told him that look, there is no need because Krishna knows. So there is no need to take Krishna's permission. But so Gopkumar left. And then Sanatana Goswami in his purport, in his commentary, he pointed out that Krishna himself actually carried him. Because Gopkumar would have been reluctant to leave Krishna in Dwarka. So that's why Uddhav said there is no need. So Krishna himself actually carried him. So that is how the Lord deals with his devotee. We do not have to separately make arrangements. We simply have to depend upon Krishna. Do you know the story of the yogi and the cobbler? So that is it, like the cobbler, when Narad Muni came and told him, when he asked Narad Muni that how many lifetimes it will take me? And Narad Muni said that as many leaves are there in this tamarind tree, that many lifetimes you have to wait. And he started to dance. Oh, at least someday Krishna will remember me. And then what happened? All the leaves from the tree fell off. And the chariot came from the Vaikuntha to take him. So it's up to Krishna. We leave it up to Krishna. There is no separate desire. Krishna, do this for me. Krishna, do this for me. Do that for me. No. We should treat Krishna, surrender to Krishna means completely depend upon His will, His arrangement, and His mercy. Okay? Therefore, we don't have to set any goal. Don't set any goal. The goal should be just surrender to Krishna. That's the only goal we have. And for that also we have to work so hard. If we seriously consider how was the degree of our surrender, what will be the percentage? So see how much you have to work on. Hare Krishna. Yes.
Hare Krishna. Guru Maharaj, relating to Krishna Charan's Prabhu's question about and Mahaprabhu. Guru Maharaj, some time ago in Mayapur, when you gave the same seminar here about Amritam, the devotee actually asked you about what is the devotee get attachment to Mahaprabhu, Harinam Sankirtan, and then with that attachment to that team, and then plan into a place where they can do it eternally, and then your answer was like it's like a two chamber, how would we be situated in Guru Govinda? Guru Maharaj, I want you just please elaborate on that. We can always move from Navadip, we can always go to, it's like a two chamber, you just mentioned something like that. It's like a chamber, you can always move from one road to another road.
Okay, yeah, the point actually is that in this Golok, there are two chambers, two parts of Golok. One part is Vrindavan and the other part is Navadip. So in Vrindavan, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is eternally enjoying his loving exchange with his devotee. He is enjoying, he is experiencing Krishna prema. And in Navadip, the same Krishna as Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is distributing that Krishna. So you get the point. Like when you are getting Krishna prema, then you have access to both. Where you are getting it and what you are getting, where you are getting it from. So those who are in Mahaprabhu's pastime, they will have a natural access to it by the mercy of Chaitanya. When we achieve our perfection. Okay, I will stop now. Thank you all very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Gaur Prema.